with the rest of the gang from Canadian Mortgage Hangout TV. Welcome to Christopher Mulder, who's joining us today. Christopher, where are you?
Located on the Danforth in hot and steamy Toronto right now.
What's a Danforth?
The Danforth is a neighborhood in Toronto.
Oh, okay, good. So Captain White and the rest of us, outside of the orbit of Toronto, we don't always...
There we go.
We've got Jackson Milton in Regina. What's up?
Hey, I am wearing a pink shirt. It is officially Pink Shirt Monday.
Oh, man, I wore mine yesterday. I didn't get the memo.
That's unfortunate. You should wear it twice in a row.
That's okay. Well, it looks good on you. And Scott Dawson, what's up in Vancouver?
Morning, guys. Another rainy day in Vancouver.
And also the only place in the country that it's still morning in, I think.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just the afternoon, that's right.
Technically, you're wrong. So, why are we here, guys? Normally we do this on Thursdays. What's up? What's keeping you guys from getting your jobs done today?
We have nothing to do because Filogix expert is down and they are not responding. So basically, we can't do anything. So what do mortgage brokers do when they can't work? They get together and talk about not being able to work.
All right. Now, technically, I don't want to correct you, Jackson, but I'm going to correct you. Isn't it Davis and Henderson?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
D&H. So have you guys got enough? I haven't heard anything from, I know my staff's been having troubles with it and everything. Have we gotten any updates from D&H on what the status is? We can share with other brokers out there?
Nope. Just check my email. I got nothing.
So not only is it down, but we haven't heard why or when it might be up. Have you guys called the helpline? Any updates on the helpline?
I never thought of that. I just thought about getting online and complain about it.
Yeah, usually when you call the helpline, they acknowledge they're experiencing technical difficulties, and that's about it.
Technicians are working feverishly to repair.
Technicians are working on it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess that we're kind of frozen. I would imagine a lot of brokers around the country are experiencing the same thing. What about alternatives? Are there any? And would you care to comment on the situation in the competitive landscape for software?
I think that's officially what you call a monopoly.
I see. So D&H, are there any competitors? Are there any competitors with any kind of significant market share? Or do they present a reliable option that we can choose if in situations like this, or that we can maybe choose in protest? Christopher, are you aware of any?
I'm not aware of anything. Who's that little guy?
That's my little guy who just came in the room. Come here, bud.
Holy moly! As far is done. I called Scott last week, and here I think he's back.
Apparently, Google Hangouts are down too.
We're back on air, according to the left-hand corner there.
You're back, yeah.
Yeah, very good. So, I mean, if I don't know how this looks to the public, but just to continue on with the conversation, I guess, in terms of alternatives, I'm unaware of any. I mean, there was at one time, I believe Filogix was. Oh no, there's Marlboro Sterling was another company, right? At one time, I'm not sure if they're still in the marketplace with their Morty.
Yeah, moreweb.ca. But we don't know. It looks like it was purchased at one point. It's a subsidiary of Vertex Financial Services, which is based in the UK. But haven't seen a rep from Marlboro anytime in the recent past, and I don't know if any brokers are still using the system or not. And I know access to certain lenders was certainly restricted, which actually, you know, at one point we thought it was a superior technology, but platform, but without the lenders buying into it and having access to it, it pretty much was a no-go. So.
Yeah. I think Filogix has established themselves as Jackson said as the he calls that a monopoly, or we call that a monopoly.
Yeah. Well, one of the problems with having a single supplier in this space too is what happens when if they decide to go after brokers for higher fees or more fees or things like that. What does it do to the cost of funds for our lending partners too? My understanding is that lenders who are using this system are paying a percentage of each deal as opposed to a flat fee. So the more volume that the lender does as a result of being on the system, the more it costs them. Think about it. Loan inflation over the years has driven up D&H's revenue substantially, but are they really doing any more for the lender or for the broker for that extra revenue?
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it. No, I've heard the same thing. I've heard that it's it's 5, 6, 7 basis points per deal that goes through that the lender pays to Davis and Henderson to have an outdated platform. That I got no problems talking about it. I mean, it's rough. I mean, the platform doesn't even, you can't even enter an MLS number in it, and it doesn't even auto-populate like a postal code. I mean, it's kind of rough. No, I don't think, if Davis and Henderson was updating the platform and they were keeping it current and it was, meeting our needs and not falling down on a Monday afternoon, yeah, I think it would definitely be worth it. I mean, the lenders can pay for that, and that's the cost of doing business. But I mean, I've seen a gradual, pullback. I mean, they don't even show up to the conferences anymore, and they got some great people working for them. I'm not knocking their people, but I mean, they got great reps, but I don't even get to see the great reps because they don't even send them out to the conferences anymore. Yeah. So I mean, I think their participation in the broker channel seems to be more financially driven than customer service driven.
Guys, one of the things that brokers have expressed frustration with in the past is just access to our data. I know if you do an export of the data in the system, I don't think you get a complete export of all the data that's in there relating to your client files. Getting data into the system is another problematic thing. I know some of the online web applications that are out there, most of them don't connect directly into the database. The data isn't. You're not able to sync it two ways very easily. I understand there's a lot of integration challenges. There's no data. Isn't it sort of time for an open data standard in this industry and allow for good two-way communication so that if nothing else, if D&H has a monopoly on the connection between the brokers and the lenders, the brokers and lenders still should have the ability to set up and customize their user interface how they choose. Would that be a reasonable compromise at this stage?
Well, Gord, I've noticed from some lenders that they do have custom, I don't know what you want to call them, they've customized it in certain ways. For instance, with, I think it was National Bank, you had the opportunity to fax in directly to National Bank, or actually to Filogix, which would then upload it onto your file through Filogix and then be shared with the bank. But that of course isn't possible with every lender. Are you familiar with other customizations that have happened, or is that what you're referring to?
Well, I think the lender customizations are there because they're able to pay a certain amount of money to have D&H engineers dig in there, and not every lender uses D&H's platform for managing their workflow. On the broker side of things, it's somewhat more limited, and I think if D&H was able to publish an API of sorts that was open and standardized and accessible to everybody, and then anybody with any kind of ability to dig into the code or publish, or code their own interface that would interact with it would benefit from that. You'd be able to start to see integrations with external CRM systems that would work better. You'd start to see better web applications for connecting with D&H, and it would level the playing field for larger and smaller brokerages, I think, too.
Yeah, I think probably the most, or what's most lacking from Filogix is the CRM capabilities. I mean, that's where all the info is. It's really the heart of our business. I mean, here, case in point, we're mortgage brokers. Filogix goes down, and we all flock to a Google Hangout, right? So I think the CRM integration into that is completely missed on their behalf, and I'd be curious to know why they haven't capitalized on that side of them, or enhancing their service.
I think they've had a long-standing relationship with InContact, but any other third-party integrations are lacking for sure. Scott, do you have any comment on day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, I can comment a little bit on the CRM. I know Verico's been building it for a couple of years now. A new CRM built on Microsoft Dynamics. It's still kind of I don't want to say beta. I've seen some demos of it at the office, etc. It's pretty robust CRM. So they're kind of rolling it out slowly to certain offices, and they're getting on the go. It does look pretty promising. And again, I'm not a techie in terms of how it works with the interface between expert. I mean, a lot of times that's the big limiting factor, right?
Yeah.
Banks and the lenders want certain amounts of types of information from an application, and experts there to make sure those fields are completed. So how Verico's kind of built the CRM is basically build a CRM outside of expert. It's going to run on Microsoft Dynamics, and we'll have complete control of our files. So we'll have all the information when we're putting a deal together. All the fields will be done outside of expert. When we're ready to submit, we can actually send that deal into expert. So we're kind of, from my understanding, it's almost it's not eliminating expert, but it's eliminating working in expert.
Yeah.
So I can still package a deal. I can still put a deal together outside of expert, send it off to expert, and when it's time to submit, I will have to go log into expert to hit that lender submit button. But other than that, I'm not working in that system. So in times like this, I mean, I think once that gets 100% rolling, that's going to be something that's I mean, expert's not down all the time, thankfully. But the times that it is, it's always an inconvenience. So any way we can kind of
this won't change that, I guess, for you, other than it'll still allow you to work on your files.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if someone calls me on a file, and if I don't have that information outside of expert, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And as we go more paperless, I mean, a lot of my document storage, etc., is all kept on Filogix Exchange, right? So I don't have access to a vast majority of my clients' documents unless I have them still saved on my computer, which I usually do most of it, but a lot of times there may be something that's up on expert that I haven't downloaded yet or something like that, So
yeah,
it's frustrating.
Well, that is the risks in the cloud-connected computing world. We saw this when Shaw's data center in Calgary blew up a week or two ago, and that took down Alberta Health Services. It took down a bunch of cable clients. It took down you name it. It took down a whole bunch of communication.
Land titles.
Land titles, registry services. That's right. Now the biggest one was Alberta Health, I think. Thankfully, they had some procedures in place to counter that. But when things go wrong in the connected universe, it has a big ripple. So I don't know what the answer is, other than I do think competition tends to keep companies on their toes, and more competition in that space I think would be welcome, because but lenders have to be willing to offer it, and lenders have to see the value in having that competition in place as well. So without a data standard, it becomes probably too cost prohibitive for the lenders to implement multiple systems. But maybe that's what we need to push for, maybe at the camp level, or certainly the provincial association level, and AMBA can get on board with that, and I think push for a data standard. We're seeing in the insurance industry that there is a data standard now. Most of the brokerages and the software companies have adopted it, but the insurers still haven't. So having a standard and having it implemented are two different things, but that would, I think, open the door for more competition. Would you agree?
Definitely. That's what we need. We're always complaining about this, but yeah, there's no choice. So we kind of grin and bear it, I guess, would be the best best analogy.
Yeah, just the way I see it is, I mean, I don't really know now. I guess just I'm dealing with my experience, but I don't really know many brokers that take an application directly through Filogix, work on it in Filogix, and use Filogix as their CRM. I mean, it seems that everybody's using something else external to track their their mortgage applications, and then basically it's only it's a communication tool. And I mean, the fact that they're asking if there's an environmental hazard on the property, it's like, really? Has anybody ever checked, yes, there's an environmental hazard here? Maybe I'm just secluded from, environmental hazards as a whole, but it just seems that the questions they ask, the way it's not integrated with MLS, I mean, how simple would that be? I mean, you type in an MLS number and it populates the property details. I don't know. Sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds like something that could be done. Sounds like something they're not interested in spending money on. So, I mean, for me, I want user-friendly. This is 2012, right? I mean, it seems like this platform was designed in the 90s, and we're getting really solid 90s technology here. But that's just me. Anyways, I ranted.
But it does surprise me that we've had so many outages lately. I know when they first came out with it, there was a lot of talk about the host. And is it? Do you guys recall the name of the hosting company? Was it Q9 or? Sorry, I'm not gonna remember the name, so I won't try to. But there was a lot of talk about how secure this host was and how reliable it was, and the uptime guarantees and things like that. Maybe that's something else we could demand, or that our lender partners, if they're paying a percentage of each deal of every transaction, you'd think that they would have a service level agreement to ensure a certain percentage of uptime. Because at the end of the day, this cuts into everybody's profits, not just D&H's, and if they're responsible, how do we hold them to account? Does everybody just kind of roll over and say, oh well, and we'll try it again tomorrow morning? Or there's millions and millions, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars of transactions that are not going through right now because of that. So what kind of economic impact does that have? Even if you look at the ripple effect and the spillover into the real estate industry and lawyers and time wasted for the clients away from their jobs, it's a big deal when this kind of system goes down, and I don't know what kind of accountability there is for the company when it happens. So
good points. I got nothing else.
Great.
Well, guys, is there anything else anybody wanted to talk about, or should we put it off till Thursday, and hopefully we're able to get back to work soon enough on our helping our clients out?
Sounds good to me.
Let's hope so. Thanks for the chat, guys.
Very good, yeah. Excellent. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Gordon, for leading that.
Nice to have you, Christopher, and we'll chat again soon, gents. Take care.
All right.
There you go.
Guys.
See you later.
Cheers.